You be the judge.
Your donation will help Canadians understand the importance of pledging to be an organ donor,
And it will help save the lives of so many more.
as it has for us.
Hi everybody, I'm Peter Howie.
And I'm Shelley Neville of Spirit of Newfoundland Productions. And we're having a great time with our new online show, Spirit Songs and Sauces. It's an entertainment show, it's a virtual dinner party, and it's a cooking class all rolled into one.
And you can dance with us, you can sing with us, you can dress up, you can dress down.
Yeah.
You can order all the ingredients, we'll deliver them to you, even with wine. Check us out, it's all on Zoom, spiritofnewfoundland.com for details on our next Spirit Songs and Sauces.
The lift wasn't working and he was in pain, so I tried to lift him on my own. Yes, it's bad. I'll need help.
Can I help you with that?
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Workplace injuries hurt the most at home.
There are soldiers in my family. I first joined the Legion to honor their service. Now I volunteer there to be of service myself. I know my membership helps Canadian veterans get the support they need. I've personally seen it help veterans get through some pretty dark times. Many have come out stronger than ever. For a lot of them, the Legion feels like home. It's nice to be part of that.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jason Piercey, and this is Out of the Fog. This is going to be a fun show. You're going to watch me get a flu shot because Nurse June from Catalyst Health Solutions is here, and we're going to talk about how gross and icky COVID testing is. We'll be right back after this.
You're watching Rogers TV, St. John's.
Now you can own your favorite Disney movies with Ignite TV. Choose from Disney titles such as Marvel Studios' Avengers Endgame. Assemble. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
I will finish what Luke started.
And Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 4. With Ignite TV, you get first access to buy and own the Disney movies you love, so you can watch them again and again. Upgrade to Ignite TV today. Now you're in command. This is Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Out of the Fog. Get ready to talk to Nurse June from Catalyst Health Solutions. I believe the last time she was here, she told us that COVID was no big deal and we didn't have to worry about a global pandemic. And so I thought I would bring you back because you were so right last time.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the opportunity. Yeah, it's interesting because of course, we've done a couple of shows now in between, but everything being virtual. But yeah, wow. Why was I wrong on that guy, eh?
But that's okay because it's medicine. And you learn as you go. I mean, I used to have a doctor who thought that you would relieve high blood pressure by like bleeding out blood from part of your neck. Oh. His name was Dr. Dracula. That was a terror. I thought it was funny. It was funny. Anyway, yeah, exactly. Air Nova. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about current state of the union, right. COVID-19, global health pandemic. Let's start with our province and then maybe expand a little.
Yep.
Where are we at?
The province is doing great. We have less than a handful of active cases, and a lot of these are actually cases that have been picked up from rotational workers coming. They're all travel related. Everything has been travel related or traced back to a traveler.
Yes.
So that's fantastic because that means that the amount of community transmission is indiscernible at this point. Can't say it's negative because
but it's effectively zero.
It's, technically on paper, zero, which is great. That's what you want.
Wonderful.
And as Dr. Haggie will say time and again, we're not trying to never have another case. We just need to keep it into a manageable situation. And the province is doing an excellent job with that.
Yeah. Wonderful. I'd like to talk a little bit, if we can, before we talk about our country, what do you think, what are the key reasons or the steps that we took that allow us to be literally the safest place in the world?
Yeah.
Except maybe like the Arctic, but then you're worrying about polar bears. So like really, we actually are the safest place in the world.
Yeah.
What do we do? How did it work?
Our moose are very timid around here. It's a lot. Everybody has been very compliant with the guidance that Dr. Fitzgerald and Dr. Haggie have put out. There hasn't been a lot of protest or a lot of opportunity for there to be gatherings like it's been happening in the rest of the world and the rest of the country. So where you see those super spreader events is what you would call something like that. We don't have an opportunity for that to happen because everybody has been making sure that any kind of gathering does stay well within the guidelines of the number of people and the distancing and spaces and face mask wearing for the most part. There's going to be
yeah, but that's okay.
People, right?
Listen, you get a couple of drinks in you and you likes to hug. Right?
We've met. We've met, yeah.
Yeah, so we're doing well, and we're doing so well because of the work that we put into getting there.
That's right.
Under solid leadership. Some of it has been to the disdain of people in certain industries. Mm-hmm. We've all but shut down our economy at times, and of course, that's going to have a hangover effect before stuff starts to pick up. In real estate, especially in the new home construction business that I do a lot of, we're seeing a lot of issues with that because now there's shortages of things, and prices are increasing because of that. But I think that's all short-term hangover type aftermath
pain, yeah.
of that sort of stuff.
For the long-term gain, yes. And I'm no economist. I can't speak to that sort of thing. But I do know, the 2 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks that everything was on lockdown around the province, every time I'd go to the hospital for whatever reason, the emergency department was like a ghost town. For some of my former colleagues would say, this is absolutely crazy. Like, we don't know what's happening. And then, of course, as things started to... time was passing, then it went right back to normal. And it kind of really reminds us all that the reason we need to be overly cautious with COVID and a pandemic and overwhelming our system is that if anybody has been to the Health Science or St. Clair's emergency department lately, you know that they're sort of kind of nearly on cracking point all the time anyways.
All the time. Yeah. So we could easily be overrun.
100%. Very easily.
Well, you know what? Maybe we'll skip about talking about the entire country just for a second, because that's a really good transition. Are we expecting the second wave that everybody talks about?
Well, the rest of the country is in the throes of the second wave. And provided that we sort of ride it out, like the kids in the back of the classroom that aren't involved in the fight that's happening up here, eventually, as the mob mentality and all of the everybody else is jumping on the bandwagon of, well, we'll open up this and open up that. Yeah. As long as we can kind of hold, it's like flying under the radar kind of a thing. Then we might avoid a second wave altogether.
Would you be betting on it or against it? Like what?
Depends on decision makers.
I'm asking because previously when we talked about this. So I just want a little tidbit that I can tweet later.
Yeah, that's it. Remember when you said that one? I think yes. I think because the fact we've got because of the demographics of our population, yes. The age and the health risks of the population. And the geography. By virtue being surrounded by water is really helping us out. And I know that the province has been very diligent in monitoring that Quebec-Labrador border, for example.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we keep that up. And as long as Dr. Haggie and Fitzgerald and now Premier Pierce stick to their guns, I think we're good to go.
Good.
I would bet that we're not going to have a second wave.
Did anybody write that down? Did anybody get that? Okay, good.
Nurse June approved.
Write it down. Nurse June approved. That may have been the catalyst to the second wave.
Oh,
you may have
look
triggered
at that,
it. Okay, I'm a father. I do dad jokes. Let's talk for a second about cold and flu season. Mm-hmm. So, when you go, my mother was recently in the hospital. She's okay, but I went to visit, and they asked, "Do you have any flu-like symptoms?" Because COVID-19 symptoms and flu symptoms many of them are kind of interchangeable at different stages in the development of whatever viral infection or, you know, whatever you have.
Right.
Is this worrisome that they're hard to tell the difference between sometimes?
That's the scariest part of the whole thing. And now with the colder temperatures coming upon us, and everybody's going to be spending a lot more time indoors versus a lot of the outdoor freedoms that we've been able to take advantage of, we could potentially see a wee spike in cases. Not a second wave, but we could definitely see another spike in cases if we're not diligent. You know, if the young people, and I say young people because that's sort of the demographic that seems to be picking up a lot of the cases these days, or the transmission is largely within that population group because they're that age where you want to go.
What constitutes young? Like when you're
teenagers, young 20s.
Okay.
The ones that want to hang out with their friends and the ones that want to go have a drink with their buddies, and then your inhibitions are lowered, and so the transmission is much higher in that population, that age group, and. Again, now with everybody coming inside and closing in on Christmas and things like that, these are all variables. But because the symptoms are essentially indiscernible between influenza, common cold, look, we've argued about influenza and the common cold, what the different symptoms are forever.
The amount of people who say to me like, well, I got a flu, I got the flu. I'm like, you don't have the flu.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet you've never had the flu because I have had the flu and I lost 12 pounds by sweating out in like 3 days. You do not have the flu.
Yeah.
If you can stand up, that's not influenza.
Exactly.
You got a cold.
You got a cold.
Yeah.
And the other caveat to that being that COVID-19 and the illness that progression that happens with that virus, it can range from nothing, literally no symptoms, to death, obviously, ICU and death. So the biggest takeaway from that would be that whenever you do have a symptom, and keep your ears to what Dr. Fitzgerald says of what the actual symptom list is, because that changes based on evidence as it comes out.
Yeah.
But keep your eyes to that list, and if you have something and you don't know, call 811.
Okay. I have a question. Maybe this will be hard to answer, and maybe there is no answer. A little while ago, my little girl wasn't feeling great, had a little bit of a fever, a couple of flu or cold-like symptoms, and I was trying to see if there was one or two determining symptoms that could easily say, well, it's definitely not a flu, or it's definitely not COVID, or it's definitely not a cold, because they don't manifest that particular symptom. Is there a distinguishing symptom that you can cross one of them off the list?
No.
See, that sucks, June.
It does suck.
You were supposed to say, well, if you have this, it's definitely not COVID.
And I would be the most popular person in the province. No, I don't. There is no silver bullet. There is no... And it changes every single day. The spots on the hands and the feet was there for a while, and that's gone. Now, one of the ones about... I know one of the very, very key COVID-specific one is the loss of taste and smell.
Yeah, because that appeared out of nowhere. Forever, that wasn't a thing, and now suddenly it is.
Well, no, it was there.
Was it?
It was there the whole time, but it wasn't on the list.
Because that's what I mean.
But it took a while for the evidence to come around to say, I think everybody is sort of saying that they've lost their sense of taste and smell.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's fair. We're going to take a little break. When we come back, I want to talk about preventative measures, specifically flu shots. And I believe you got like a 4-foot needle you're going to stick into my arm. This is not 4 feet. And then I want to talk about, because I think everybody's really curious about COVID testing.
Yep.
And then I want to talk about COVID testing. Cool?
Sounds good.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with more Nurse June after.
All right, girls.
Mom, you said it's played again.
Workplace injuries hurt the most at home.
Sometimes it's hard to say goodbye to an old friend. But when you're saying farewell to your vehicle, Kidney Car makes it fast and easy. Just call or visit our website. We'll take any vehicle in any condition and give you a tax receipt for a minimum of $300. No headaches and no towing charges. It's the one-stop solution for getting rid of your unwanted vehicle in just a few short minutes. When your vehicles reach the end of the road, call us toll-free or visit kidneycar.ca.
Break. Welcome back to Out of the Fog on Rogers TV. So I'm wearing this because I didn't want to have to take my shirt off in front of all of you. You didn't need to see my awkwardly small nipples. Welcome back, June. We're gonna stab me, right? But before we do, tell me what a flu shot is, what it does, how it's created, because everybody there's all these myths around vaccinations and stuff. So can we just do a minute on what a flu shot is?
Sure. So the injections of influenza vaccination, not the nasal spray, but the injection form is always pieces. I like to describe it as pieces of a virus, inactivated virus. And the idea is you're taking the key proteins of that virus and training your immune system to then develop antibodies to be able to attack it should it encounter that virus in the season. The problem with influenza is that those same antibodies deteriorate over time and they need to be reintroduced every year or re-stimulated every year.
And I guess the flu changes and evolves also.
It
There's
does,
a
yeah.
bunch of different strains.
Right. So as most of us can recall, in 2009 was when the H1N1 virus sort of reared its head, but it had a vaccine that we were able to disseminate quickly, and that's why that one didn't turn into a pandemic.
Okay. Not necessarily the case for COVID-19 then.
No, not at all, because it's a brand new virus, whereas H1N1 sort of had characteristics of things.
So that likely evolved out of something else.
Correct.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's why this one is the novel coronavirus, because it's brand new.
Okay. I'd like to talk a little bit more about the corona and the testing thing, because I find that really fascinating. But before we do that, why do we get flu shots?
Well, because if you don't, the ability of your body to fight off an influenza virus is nil, except for your own innate immune system in terms of being in good shape where you're eating well and your immune system's sort of on point and you get good sleep, that sort of thing. That's obviously how everybody lives their life every single day, doing the very best they can for their bodies and their minds. So, but the issue is that with that there is no antibodies. Mm-hmm. So when you come in contact with that virus for the first time in that year, you are going to become very, very sick. And that's why a lot of the side effects of the flu vaccine, look exactly like the flu. And that's very much that mild, I got the flu after I got the flu shot. And that's not a thing.
That
impossible.
doesn't happen. Okay, so the counter argument seems to be for some people who don't want to get flu shots, that, and this is just for the audience, so you know, this is not my personal opinion on this, but this is what I've heard people say. So, I am a reasonably healthy, reasonably young, reasonably strong man who eats well, who exercises, and I'm in good condition, and I suspect that if I have the flu, I have access to premium health care, I likely won't die, I don't need your flu shot.
Yeah, that is very wishful thinking. And that I don't take my health care, personal health care, on bet. I take it on science. And I can also take it on experience in what I've seen in an emergency department, and especially the H1N1 year, where there's a couple of local young, healthy, strapping young men that died, and also ones that had amputations because of complications of being sick as you know what. And that's why it's important that everybody get this shot, because there's so many people in the community that can't get it for a number of reasons.
So me getting a flu shot when I feel healthy and strong, I'm not necessarily getting it for me. I'm getting it for my nan, or I'm getting it for this person's cousin who has COPD, or I'm getting it for,
Yeah,
that's the herd mentality that you hear?
That's herd immunity,
Yeah.
and that's last year's conversation. This year's conversation is that there's also a global pandemic that has very similar presentations that we don't have any kind of vaccination or defense against. So, and it is possible that we could have an influenza pandemic happen at the same time as a COVID-19 pandemic.
And not know which was which.
And not know which was which, but also that would absolutely devastate everybody's healthcare systems and everybody's economies.
Okay, so get your flu shot, like I'm going to, literally right now. I'm going to put my mask on. June is going to come stab me. She tells me she's really good at this, and she's been doing it for a really long time. And
allow me to get into my tackle box.
But then she immediately goes, So, much like I'm doing right here before you, to show you that it's not that difficult a thing, get your flu shot, and don't be so selfish.
Yeah.
Honestly, personal opinion, not a Rogers TV opinion, personal Jason Piercey opinion. My Twitter handle was posted at the start of the show. If you got a problem with it, you can tweet me. Okay.
Also, the flu shot is free for everybody who is a resident of Newfoundland and Labrador.
Is that true?
And it always has been. If you have a valid MCP card, and I believe this year they're really not even that fussy on if it's expired.
Yeah.
But if you have a valid MCP card, you qualify to have the flu shot done for free.
Really?
Yeah. And there's all kinds of, you can go to a pharmacist to have it done. I'm going to do this guy, actually.
Why?
Because I know you're right-handed.
And you're just trying to give me a, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
100%.
So this is a service that you provide at Catalyst, right?
It is. And actually, this year, in response to COVID-19, relax your arm, you have gun show. So the key thing is to be as relaxed as you can. If you're flexing this muscle when I do this, it will be uncomfortable.
But I'm trying to look cool and sexy on TV, June.
I can't help you with that one. Pinched out.
That wasn't bad.
And just for Corey, I got you this little frozen Band-Aid. Look,
Oh,
that's how
cute.
good I am. I can't even see the hole. Sure. Huh?
I can. Oh, do we actually have a no? Can we get the frozen Band-Aid there? Would you get it away?
Oh, sorry.
Look at that. Oh, cute. Okay, so you bring frozen Band-Aids. So hold on now. This is a service that you provide.
Yep.
I'm gonna take this off now because we're back to 6 feet.
Sure.
This is a service that you provide as you and other people who work with you.
Yep.
So if everybody wants or should want to get a flu shot.
Yep.
If it's difficult for me based on my schedule to go to the different places where they're offered, I can reach out to you guys and you'll come to me?
Yeah, so we actually have a couple of options. We can come to you, or we, in response to the pandemic, at the clinic that we've recently opened, we have 2 dedicated parking spaces where you pull up, you text or call to tell us that you're there, we come on out and do the entire thing while you're sitting in your car.
You're kidding. So that's not even by appointment? That's just like stroll up, park there. Okay, so go to your website, go to Catalyst Health Solutions?
Yep, catalysthealthsolutions.ca or 351-2475. Give us a buzz.
351-2475.
We're just on Tops of the Road in Paradise.
Okay, so can we talk about COVID testing?
Yeah.
Because I hear it's super uncomfortable and terrible and everybody hates it.
It's wicked, yeah.
Yeah?
You ever go swimming and get chlorine up in your nose and that burning?
Oh, it's the worst.
That's exactly what happens. That's what it feels like. Would you like one?
Would I like one?
Yeah, we could do one today.
You can literally give me a COVID test right now.
I could totally do a COVID test right now and show folks that this is no joke. Like, these tests are not to be treated lightly. Like, it's a procedure, right? So,
Oh my goodness.
I'm not going to kill you on air or anything now.
Not
but
on air. I'll die briefly afterwards.
Carrie,
Okay.
get ready to cut.
So we're gonna do. Okay, I do not have symptoms of COVID-19 or flu-like symptoms or anything. I have allergies to my dog, so sometimes I sniffle. So we're doing this. I'm about to make myself incredibly uncomfortable for your benefit, by the way. So I hope you enjoy it.
And mine.
And yours. Yeah, can you just do it now?
Yeah.
So, but I assume I leave this off.
Yeah, well,
because-
I mean, I got to get at you somehow, so let's just leave that there.
So what is the process? What are you doing?
Okay, actually, this is a really good moment to explain a little bit about the different kinds of tests, because people have been asking about the difference between what I'm about to do, which is a PCR test, which is actually looking for DNA particles of the virus,
Okay.
shedding from your nose. And it's
Okay.
not just your nose. Like the nasal swab is not as bad as the nasopharyngeal, which is way in the back.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the part where your sinuses start to communicate with your throat.
So like literally like way back?
Way back.
How long is, you're putting something up my nose?
Yeah.
How long is the thing that's going up my nose?
It's a bit long. Can I get a couple tissues actually? Because he's definitely gonna react.
What? React?
Your eyes are gonna water, your nose is gonna run, you may sneeze or cough. Like if you got chlorine in your nose at the pool. All that same stuff.
All right, listen, audience. I hope you appreciate this because this was not planned and June is mean. She's not, she's actually lovely.
I'm usually a very nice person.
But okay, so we have some tissues.
Thank you.
This is amazing. This is,
So, and to
yeah.
be clear, some folks have been asking then about these rapid tests or the blood tests or antibody tests, and they're not all the same thing. So what we're seeing a lot at Catalyst Health Solutions right now is individuals who are traveling to China or India or to the United States, and they're getting a test done, even though they have no symptoms, just as that added level of protection for the place where you're traveling to.
All right, we've got 2 minutes, so let's giddy up.
Ooh. Okay.
All right,
don't cough right on me. You look that way now. And for all of my infectious disease people who are freaking out that I don't have a gown or shield on right now, Jason has no symptoms.
So normally you'd be all like garbed up?
I'd have a face shield on right now normally, but I'm gonna get you to keep looking in that direction, which is the other thing that's helping me here.
What? How does that help you? What?
Because if you do spray, it's gonna be in that direction.
Spray? That sounds...
Tip back just a tiny bit.
Oh my God.
Just look up a little bit. There we go.
Oh, this is uncomfortable.
And we're done.
Oh, that is the worst. Oh my God. Oh. Oh my. Oh, that is so uncomfortable. I'm crying. Where did that go? How long is that? It's like that long.
Yeah.
And look how long, where's the camera? Look how long my nose is. And look how long, so it was like, it was right here. I felt it. You just tickled my brain. Okay, June, I was gonna say thanks for coming out. Now I'm not going to.
Imagine what I'll do to you if my prediction of the second wave is wrong.
Oh. Anyway, I'm gonna try and focus, collect myself here. Do we have anything that we want to say to the audience before I say goodbye to you and go cry?
If anybody else is looking, you rotational workers I know that have been coming back and forth to get the COVID testing done. If 811 and the scheduling doesn't work with you, we do that privately as well, and as well as all the travelers coming in and out.
Wait, somebody can just call you and pay you to have a COVID test done?
Yeah, very similar to if I did your blood collection or if I did your flu shot.
Seriously?
Same idea.
Oh my goodness. Okay, if you have symptoms or whatever, you can just literally just go to Catalyst Health and
Well, if you have
amazing.
symptoms, make sure you call us first because we have different procedures for that.
Okay, incredible. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna take a break, change my shirt. I'll be right back after this. Oh. Ugh.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
Welcome back or whatever. I'm rotted. That was gross. It was so uncomfortable. I'm thinking that if for no other reason, you should go get a flu shot, call Catalyst Health Solutions, text that number or whatever, reach out to Nurse June, get your flu shot, because it might prevent you from having to go through that god-awful experience, which I'm sure is gonna end up on the internet, and I'll have to talk about that for a long time. Anyway, hope you had fun at my loss. Have a great night. We'll see you next week.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
Hi.
Could you do me a favor? Could you meet me at Temple Tube Station? It's a matter of life and death.
What the hell is this place?
It's a clinic for people who don't want to go into the system.
Criminals.
Everybody find somebody. I can take your pain away. fact I got involved with you in the first place should have told you how far I was prepared to go.
Temple. New series Sunday, November 15th. Only on Showcase.
You must be the reporter. Come with me.
So, Miss McGill, how does it feel being Canada's famous women engineer?
The real story is the work we've done retooling this factory.
To build the Hawker Hurricane?
Indeed. 40 planes last month with a capacity of up to 100. Our fighters are over England as we speak. Of course, it pains me to see airplanes mass-produced like boxcars or baby carriages.